Okay, so, oh, I forgot to turn this light on. Yeah, that helped a little. Anyway. The first one of these that I got from the Disney 100 series was very disappointing. We're going to see if the jewelry activity kit is any better than the, quote, deluxe activity kit. My vote is going to be probably not, and here's why. Let me just, hold on, wee, and now I'm in the corner. And now there's just a dark spot in the corner, and I apologize, but you know what? I think I say in basically every video that the lighting in my house sucks, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and assume this isn't worth it, and there's a very good reason, and that is because Disney did a very similar kit to this. It didn't have nearly as many beads. I think it was only like 100 and... I think it was only like 100 or maybe 200 for... I think half of this price. Because I think it was only $10 instead of the $20 that this one costs. And it was Frozen themed, right? And I didn't get it because there was only really like one charm in there that I actually liked, and it was the salamander friend, because I love the salamander friend, the fire salamander friend, because it was Frozen 2 specifically. But the main reason you pick something like this up, right, is because of the charms that come with it. Because the beads you can get literally anywhere. Okay? Now here's my problem with this set. The Frozen one came with charms that were specific to the kit. And I don't mean just like the rubber charms. And by the way, the rubber charms are cheap. You can get them basically anywhere for cheaper. And they might not be officially licensed, but they'll be also half of the price and you'll get twice as many. Being honest. But the reason that the Frozen kit worked better, in my opinion, is that the Frozen kit came with, I think, only Anna, Elsa, Olaf, Fire Salamander friend. I think it came with Kristoff and possibly Sven. It came with somewhere between 4 and 6 charms. The difference being that for $10 you got... Well, it was $10 and it was also like half off for a long time. And the difference being is you only got, I think you only got 200 separate individual beads, but the difference was that the beads that came with that kit were also specific to that kit. Not all of them were your basic beads like what looks like comes with this. And obviously we're about to find out for certain what comes with this. There we go. Huh, I was expecting this to be hinged. You know, like a reasonable person might choose. But, there we go. But it came with 10, I think, or, what was I, hold on, brain reload. It came with less beads individual, but, like, yeah, you can even see all of these beads are just generic round beads, and, like, oh, the yellow one has some flowers in it, it looks like, and the purple ones have like some flowers in it, and the blue ones and the pink ones have hearts in it, but all of those are still what I would consider generic beads. And the difference with the frozen one is that it came with beads that were specifically shaped like leaves, because there was a lot of fall imagery and leaf imagery in the second movie, and it came with beads that were specifically shaped like snowflakes, because obviously. And I'm already disappointed in the fact that all of the beads are generic. So you're literally paying $20 basically exclusively for the charms. And the charms are more like keychains, if we're being completely honest. I wouldn't wear this as a necklace. They're essentially those rubbery keychain things. Now what they could have done is included both the ability to make them into keychains as well as necklaces by literally just including, along with these, some regular string and keychains. And that would have cost them an extra maybe $1 per kit if they included enough keychains for each of the 10 charms that it comes with. Because I feel like it would have been a lot better for them if they came with that. That way you had, options as to what you were doing, instead of just assuming that everyone would want to make these giant look at how big these charms are. That is taking up most of my palm, alright? And I got big hands. Okay, for scale of the size of my hand, here is a Funko Pop. For the scale of the size of my hand, here is a Funko Pop. Here is my hand. Because most people know the approximate size of a Funko Pop. Here is the charm in my hand. These charms are huge. And like, the ones in the Frozen one were also huge. But it felt like you were getting more for your money, because the Frozen one, and I'm now upset that I didn't buy the Frozen one, but I did buy this one. But I didn't really think about buying the Frozen one at the time that the Frozen one existed, because the Frozen one was out for, like, I think last Christmas, I think, was when the Frozen one was out. At least the last time I saw it out was, like, last Christmas. And I don't mean last Christmas as in, like, 2013 or 2023's Christmas. I mean, like, 2022's Christmas. I need to remember that this video is going up much later than when I'm recording it. But anyway, at least they had the decency to give us resealable bags for the beads. The problem that I have is that not all of the bags of the beads are sealed. And they did these really cheap things for the beads. So see, like, the orange ones, the individual bead you have is a flower. And it looks like there's, like, some hearts. So it looks like all of the beads are, like, flowers, hearts, and then regular circle beads in both plain and transparent. They also gave us so many shades of blue beads, but there's no... Okay. I'm already getting salty And I haven't even, like, started doing anything with this. At least they had the decency to provide us with a black. They gave us black and white, and, like, that's rare for Disney, especially to do. Especially for, like, a female-based kit, and given that it's jewelry, it seems like they're marketing it more towards females. Because it's jewelry, and it's specifically cutified versions of characters. But, hold on. Somehow they gave us a lot of colors of beads and also not enough colors of beads. And I'm about to explain that very, very quickly after I get everything else out of these stupid plastic things. But see, like, they made all of the characters very, very cutesy. Which means I assume their goal, right, was to attract females, because that's just usually how Disney do, especially with the amount of princesses there are, and the fact that they included Minnie but not Mickey. It feels like they're mostly trying to do a female audience. Because there's two princesses, there's cute animal characters, and then there's, like, spunky side characters. And I feel like that's... the fact that they used young Simba and not adult Simba kind of makes me assume that they are going for females. As for strings, they gave us these things, which are in fact not strings. They are weird rubber silicone-y things that Disney has been using for the strings in their jewelry things for quite some time. My problem with these things is that it doesn't take much tugging to pop them out. There is no actual clasp. So not only do you have to make sure you have the little thing shoved all the way in, but any, like, light amount of tugging pops it out. And I got a fat neck, which means these don't fit me. And I know they're made for children or whatever. They don't fit me, because I got a fat neck, which means it takes even less effort. And it works better on a neck. I give them that, because on the neck, there's a lot less ability to directly pull. So I will give them that they work better on a neck instead of just on their own. However, my point still stands that they could have and should have given us, like, keychain things. Because these are the size and texture of keychain things. Also, I haven't mentioned the smell yet, but, they have that new plastic smell, and those of you who do crafts enough know exactly what I'm talking about. These are the colors they gave us for bands. So they did give us a variety of colors, and it looks like they gave us colors that match each particular character specifically. So they did color coordinate the colors, at least a little bit, for the bands. Now, I need to explain to you why I'm saying that they somehow gave us a lot of options and also very few options when it comes to colors. Instead of a true green, they gave us this bright highlighter green that is more yellow than green. And then we have this yellow. So those two colors are quite similar. They gave us an orange. They gave us no red, which is kind of hilarious, given that Ariel is very associated with red due to her hair. But also so is Forky. It's also hilarious to me that they didn't give us a true green. They literally gave us almost exactly the same color green as the alien. They look even more identical on camera somehow. So we have an orange, right? And we have a pink. There is no red. They gave us a black and a white. That makes sense. They gave us a purple. That also makes sense, as purple's kind of just a generic jewelry color. I feel like, however, they could have removed one of the 1, 2, 3 shades of blue and replaced one of them with a red. The red is like one of the main colors that they should have. Red and like a regular green that's not highlighter green. I feel like red and green are kind of generic colors that should... I feel like red and green are kind of generic colors that should exist, especially given that one of your main characters' main colors is red, and you included the girlfriend of the main character, and one of her main character colors is also red. You gave us no red. And you gave us an alien and a Little Mermaid, and both of them are associated quite heavily with green, and the closest green you gave us is highlighter green and not a true green. But you gave us 3 different shades of blue. Why? Like, I get it. There's you included a lot of blue characters in here intentionally. You have Olaf, which is kind of white and blue. You gave us Stitch, which is obviously blue. You gave us Genie, which is a blue. You gave us Moana, which is associated with both blue and orange. And you gave us Nemo, which is again blue and orange. So you gave us a lot of blue characters. But you also somehow gave us not a lot of choices for the rest of the characters because you were focused on those characters. Also, this box is way bigger than it needs to be, which is kind of good for me because it means I can put my other beads and junk in here and it'll be fine, and like some of my other craft stuff in here. But like if I wasn't a crafter and I just kind of was given this big of a tin, and this, what they give us, only takes up like half maybe of the tin, I would be like, why? I am currently like, why? The only reason that I'm not more annoyed by the fact that the tin is gigantic is because I can use the storage. Probably gonna put the Tamagotchi ones in here and then just keep all of them together. This might just end up becoming my random little bead box. I feel like every crafter has a random little bead box somewhere. Even if they don't remember where they put it, it probably exists. You just don't remember where it is. Anyways, I guess I ought to make at least one of these. I think I'm gonna make Forky, because I'm going to, because I have a friend from my old work that loves Forky, and I miss him. And yes, I did say him. And ironically, I don't know that he's seen the Toy Stories. I think he just really likes the character. But that's besides the point. The only good thing about these is that they allow you to put beads in on both sides, because both sides are approximately the same size. And the other good thing about these is because they're silicone, the beads are not prone to coming off, which is always handy. So we're going to make Forky, because then I can give him to my friend, because I'm going to be honest, I don't like Forky a huge amount. I think it's also because I didn't really like Toy Story 4 a huge amount. That's, well, I feel like that's not even really personal bias. There were a lot of people that were like, but why? I know a lot of people that saw Toy Story 2 or that saw Toy Story 4 and were like, but why would you do that? You finished it correctly the first time. Okay, since I went with a white string, I don't think I'm gonna do the white beads, because I feel like that would be counterintuitive. Doo-doo. I should be doing this on camera, but also, you all know how stringing beads works. I don't feel like I have to show you how that works. You all understand. Like, just put the bead through the hole. I suppose I could be doing it on camera and just move all of these guys. But, like, this one I might actually keep, mostly just because I like the charms. I'll probably end up just turning them into keychains instead of necklaces, if we're being honest. Don't know if I'm going to keep these things. Honestly, I find these things to be minorly annoying. I might keep them just to turn them into the key rings, and you can tie them, and they don't tend to come untied very easily. So we've got that going for us, I guess. But again, this one is one in which, hey, you know what would be a great color to go with Forky? Red. But there is no red. Also, while you can string beads onto both sides, going from this side tends to be a little bit more difficult because the thing is a little bit more thick. So I think the intention is that you're supposed to only go through one side, but, like, it doesn't really matter a particularly large amount. Doodly-doo, doodly-doo. And again, this is another one of those ones in which it's like, it includes over 500 pieces because they're counting each individual bead. And instead of acknowledging that on the thing, they're just like, what? No. Yeah. I might use the clear ones, actually. Oh. Okay. Well, it looks like with all of these, the flower beads that you get are always the translucenty, transparenty ones, like these ones. Or like these ones. On camera, they don't look as these ones don't look as transparent, but trust and believe they are transparent, or translucent, I guess. And it looks like you always get It looks like the hearts are always the ones that are opaque, the same color as the things, and then the flowers are always translucent. So that's weird. You would think they would have included a mix of both. That way you could actually choose a little bit better. But whatever. I always have this urge to overbead, so I have to also stop myself from doing that. I was one of those children in which I was like, how many beads can I fit on this string before it no longer acts as a necklace? It's a habit that I need to... I like shiny things. They're shiny. But honestly, I feel like what they could have done was included like a handful of beads for each specific character, instead of only doing like generic colored beads. And that would have made it significantly more worth it, in my opinion. Because as it stands, these beads you can buy like 100 of for like $1, maybe $2, depending on where you're getting them. I have no idea how much these cost, but I know you can buy embroidery thread, which works just as well, for like cheap. And then you can have actual attachment things instead of having to worry about them popping off. Yeah. So basically you're buying this because it comes in a fancy metal tin, and the charms are cute, except you can buy charms that are closer to the correct size you would want to wear as a necklace for cheaper on the internet. I feel like you could probably double the amount of crafts that you're getting by buying this all on the internet instead of buying this all as this one fancy kit. I have noticed recently that Disney has been charging... Well, it's not recently. Disney has been charging a lot more for... Disney always charges a lot more for things because it's Disney. But I've noticed what they've been doing in order to like trick you into thinking that what you're getting is more quality is putting a lot more effort into the packaging than into the product itself. And that way, like in this case, the packaging is like a fancy metal tin. So you think, oh, it's in a fancy metal tin, it must be worth more because it's in a fancy metal tin. And it has this fancy Disney 100 logo bezeled in the top, and it's all holographic metal blue fancy schmancy. And then you look inside and you're like, this was worth approximately half as much as I paid. And that's how I feel about this one too. Honestly, I feel like if this was priced at $10 instead of $20, I would give it a win. Since it was priced at $20, I definitely don't think it's worth it. I don't think being able to make 10 of these little things and then maybe have some beads left over is worth you spending $20. I don't. Being honest. Anyway, Gonna be completely clear, I was fairly certain this one was going to end up being a crap kit anyways. So this one I had already assumed was going to be a waste of my money. I was just curious as to how big of a waste of my money it was going to be. Being completely honest. Anyway, hopefully, the next one will be slightly less bad. Disney has been a disappointment in terms of craft kits for quite some time for me. So this isn't really a surprise. Even, like, ones that I haven't filmed and I've just bought because I wanted them ends up being sad for me. And, you know, that's probably on me for continuing to try desperately to like them. Oh well. Toodaloo.